do you impose regime change on a country that arguably deserves it, like Iran, without it leading to one of these consequences that are not palatable to the American public, like a vacuum for terrorism or a forever war?
Right. Well, let me just take one second here on this question of neoconservatism. I'm not a neocon, and for those whose memory doesn't run back this far, the term neoconservative came up at the beginning of the Reagan administration, and it was defined as a liberal who has been mugged by reality. And all I can say is I've never been a liberal, so I'm not a neocon. I'm just a plain old conservative. The case of Iran is a good example of a direct threat to the United States, both through Iran's pursuit of nuclear weapons and its support for terrorism. It was Ronald Reagan who put Iran on the list of state sponsors of terrorism in 1987, the first country we named under that authority. And it's the fact that ever since 1979, when the Islamic Revolution took power in Iran, one of the first things they did was seize American diplomats as hostages, leading to one of the worst crises of the Carter administration, demonstrating his weakness and really helping very much to lead to Ronald Reagan's election. It's hard to imagine a regime worse than the Ayatollahs taking power because of their pursuit of nuclear weapons, because of their regional and global support for international terrorism, and because of their repression of their own people. We've just passed the one-year anniversary of the murder of Mahsa Amini for violating the Islamic dress codes. I think the regime in Tehran is weaker now than at any point since 1979. And I think that in this case, it's the people of Iran who are prepared to do the heavy lifting for us if we just give them the potential to do it, which includes reversing the Biden administration's loosening of the sanctions imposed on Iran after the Trump administration withdrew from the 2015 nuclear deal, and enforcing the other sanctions that are in place. This regime is weaker than people think. And I think the launching of the Ring of Fire strategy now speaks to the desperation of the Ayatollahs. So this is not the point to negotiate with them or placate them or appease them. This is the moment to really apply the pressure.
So when you say that that regime change should be advocated for by American politicians, or that should be our policy, you're not advocating that we topple the regime, but that we enable the Iranian people to do it themselves because they both have a palate for that. And the government itself is as weak as it's ever been.
And there are ways that we can help them. Regime change doesn't mean American troops marching on their capital.